Hi everyone, and welcome to your Chatting with Charm series. In this series, we will be learning how we can embrace technology while minding our manners. Since phones are such a huge part of our life today, phone etiquette is more important now than ever. From making phone calls and leaving messages, to texting and snapping photos, this series will be your guide to using your phone with elegance. Remember, good telephone manners are just as important as good person-to-person manners. The only difference is that we can't be seen, and we can see the other person we are talking to. But just because we can't be seen doesn't mean we don't have to use good manners. In fact, as soon as we are given the privilege of having our own cell phone, we should begin practicing good cell phone manners. Let's begin with making an elegant phone call. Our goal when making an elegant call is to be courteous and be heard clearly, pleasantly, and gracefully. Before making an elegant call, it's best to call at the right time, which is a great way to be courteous. It's very important to keep in mind the lifestyle and schedule of our friends and family. Before making a call, take a moment to consider the other person's time zone and schedule, for they may be busy or not available to answer the call. A good guideline to keep in mind when making a call is to call between the hours of 9 in the morning and 9 in the evening, unless it is an absolute emergency. The hours between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. are generally the hours when we are most available. However, since everyone has different schedules, ask your friends when it is okay and not okay to call them. You may ask them, "Is this a good time to talk?" And asking if they have a few moments to talk will display your charming consideration for them. Also, before making our elegant call, it's best to minimize distractions. It's best to be sure there are no background noise or distractions around us. This way, we may be able to give our full attention to our call. This is why it's best to turn off the television, music, or any other electronic devices or move to another room before calling someone. And remember to also put away any snacks or food before making a call. Keep in mind that the microphones of our phones amplify our voice as well as background noise to the receiver of the call. This means that any munching or chewing can be heard clearly, which wouldn't sound very pleasant in the ear of the receiver of the call. This is why it's best for us to make our elegant phone call at a time and place where we won't be distracted, so we may be able to give our full attention to the call. This applies to using our phones in a social environment as well. When we are with others, it's very elegant to use our phones with discretion and courtesy. Etiquette is all about how our actions affect those around us, so we must always be thinking of how our phones may be affecting those we are with. If it is absolutely necessary to make a phone call while we are with others, it's best to first politely excuse ourselves and then find a private space where we can make our phone call respectfully without any background noise or distractions. And please keep in mind that placing a call while driving places your life highly at risk as well as the lives of other drivers. If it is absolutely necessary to make a call while you are driving, please, for your safety, always remember to first pull over to a safe spot, turn off the car, and then make your phone call. And the last tip to remember before making an elegant call is to be considerate of the time of others. It's a good idea for us to be sure we have a reason to call. Remember, it's okay to call to visit, but if that's the only reason, it's best to be considerate of their time and keep the conversation short and sweet. Once we are sure it is a good time to call, we will give all of our attention to the call, and we have a reason to call, then we may make our elegant phone call. One of the most important things to remember when making a call is to dial the number carefully and correctly, so we may be confident that we are calling the right number. As the phone rings, wait patiently. You may even count the number of rings you hear. If there is no answer after 6 rings, it's best to hang up, as not everyone may have a voicemail set up. And if the phone is answered, greet politely by speaking clearly, pleasantly, and gracefully.
Hello.
Speaking with a smile is the key to sounding pleasant, graceful, and clear, which is our goal. When there is a smile on our face, the receiver of the call will be able to hear it in our voice, So remember to speak with a smile. If the person whom we wish to speak to doesn't answer the phone, request for them politely by asking, "May I please speak to Sally?" And this is a polite and direct way of asking for the person we'd like to speak to. Now, it's not necessary for us to say who we are to the person who answers the phone. It's actually proper etiquette for them to ask who is calling. If we do happen to know the person who answers the phone, we may give them a friendly greeting before requesting for a party. "Hi, Mrs. Jones, this is Ladylike Charm. May I please speak to Sally?" And this is a courteous way of acknowledging their existence, which would be very much appreciated. And when we do get in contact with the person we desire to speak to, then we may identify ourselves. "Hi Sally, this is Ladylike Charm." Saying our name will make it easier for the receiver of the call to know who is calling, and will save both the caller and the receiver from the embarrassment of having to guess. While we are talking on the phone, it's important to remember to be courteous and considerate of the other person's time. We may take some time to chat, discuss the topic that's on our mind, and when it's time to say goodbye, then we may politely say, "It was nice talking to you, goodbye." Being decisive by simply saying goodbye and hanging up will keep the conversation from dragging endlessly. It will also display your charming consideration for the other person's time. And congratulations, you just made an elegant phone call. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and you will remember these tips as you use your phone with charming courtesy and consideration as you make your own elegant phone calls. This way you may be heard pleasantly, gracefully, and clearly, all while being considerate of others, so your inner beauty may always shine bright to display your true elegance. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day.